Patricia Hoyt, sometimes things are not what they seem. Sometimes things are not what they seem. Patricia Hoyt.
Ladies and gentlemen, sometimes in life, things are not what they seem. People misinterpret reality all the time. For example, when I was 10 years old, my father was driving home from work when he mistook a piece of styrofoam on the side of the road for a severed human head. Now, it's possible that drivers in the New York City suburbs half expect to see a severed head. But I admit to you, his mistake was my fault. Weeks before, my mother had given me one of her old wigs and its styrofoam head to play with. I painted her face to make her look more glamorous. I pinned on the wig and named her Nancy, after my Aunt Nancy, my uncle's glamorous fourth wife. I thought it would be funny if I propped up Nancy at the edge of the fountain pond at the entrance to our subdivision. I didn't stop to think that this could be a dangerous distraction to drivers. But that poor judgment is probably why they don't let 10-year-olds vote. However, less than 10 minutes after I put Nancy in the fountain pond, my father came home from work raving mad. "Look at what some idiot did. Someone put a fake head in the fountain pond. I almost ran off the road." He slammed Nancy on the counter. I froze. For a moment, my mother looked confused. Then slowly she looked at me, and her eyebrow went up. When that eyebrow went up, I was in trouble. I braced myself, but instead she burst out laughing. She never told my father that I was the idiot who put the head. Sometimes things are not what they seem because we only see a part of the story. 8 years ago, there was a wounded bird, an egret, in my backyard. It was trailing blood, and I was determined to bring him to an avian vet. I had no net, and since the bird was fast, and I am not, I decided to throw a box over it. I'd throw the box, miss, the bird would flit off, I would run and retrieve the box, I'd throw the box, miss, the bird would flit off, I would run and retrieve the box. After 40 tries, I rescued the bird. But my antics puzzled my next-door neighbor, Brian, a kind-hearted, good old boy from Alabama. Because of the slope of my yard, Brian never saw the bird. He only saw part of the story. He saw me throwing and chasing a box, which prompted him to call out of his back door, "Hey, what Sam Hill are you doing?" Sometimes what seems like like rational behavior to one person seems totally crazy to somebody else. A few years ago, I was moving between houses and I moved some fragile things by car. I have a rosewood Buddha who stands about that tall that I put in the front seat of my Honda Accord. He rocked a bit on the front seat, and I decided to stabilize him with a seatbelt. Concerned that the seatbelt buckle would scratch his varnish, I grabbed a t-shirt, put that on him, I was moving a cowboy hat on the same trip, and with nowhere else to put the hat, I mindlessly plopped it on Buddha's head. Now, I have a really bad habit of talking to inanimate objects. I talk to computers, my car, my smartphone, my GPS navigator, but only if it talks to me first. So I admit to you, I was happily talking to Buddha as I drove towards I-95. When I stopped at a light, a police officer pulled up on the right. Immediately, I stopped talking. Out of the corner of my eye, I could see him just staring at me. When the light changed, he pulled in behind us. I saw him talking on his radio. I know he was running my tags and probably checking to see if I was on some crazy person list. I expected him to pull me over, but he never did. Maybe that's because Buddha and I were both wearing our seatbelts. But if he had pulled me over, I would have said, "Officer, sometimes things are not what they seem." Madam Contest.